Hey guys, surprise, I'm not dead. Um, just kind of hit with reality and life all at once. Got my mom's getting a hip replacement, so lots of doctor's appointments going with her, and um, just failed video after failed video after failed video. Um, I tried hunting, that kind of flopped. Then a deer got hit in front of my house, so I kind of dropped focus on uh, that for a little bit. Then um, the snakes, kind of been setting up stuff for them. I'm buying an alligator, so I had to take the 75-gallon, which Levi has been rehomed, so the 75 is empty, and I had to shorten it down like 5 inches or so, so I could easily like reach in there to get to the bottom, so I could get her out. But this video is not about any of that stuff. This video is actually about trapping. The Bill Duke kind of come through again. Um, Boy, do I have something to show you guys. 1 second. Okay, so I've kind of got this 8.5 by 11 notebook for like size comparison. Now, this first trap here is a Duke 550. This is the Pro Series. This is an offset. As you can see, I'll put it in the bottom. That's roughly, that's kind of, rough. It's like 5.5 because it's a 550. This will work great for coyotes, bobcats, raccoon. It's a little bit overkill for raccoon, but it will definitely work for anything like bobcat, coyote. I guess if you have like lynx or some sort of cat that's around the size of a coyote, I think it would do good for badgers. I think Flair caught his badger on like maybe a 650, but this is still kind of your all around. Like if you don't want to have something that's just way too big, this will pretty much handle the majority of like trapping animals, like predator wise. I bought like one of these, and I think one 650, and then Bill sent me 6 more 650s whenever we started working together. So that right there is the 550. I'll kind of keep it right there. Then this is the 650, like I mentioned. This is one of the ones that, well, I'm not sure if this was one of the ones that Bill sent me. It probably is because I only bought one. So there's kind of a size comparison. You can sort of take this one and sit it like, I'll just set them side by side. This is a 650. It's supposed to be like 6.5, and it pretty much is. It's like 6 7/8 on the outside to outside. Inside to inside, it's like just a smidge over. Some of them are like right on point at 6.5, and then some of them are like a 16th bigger. But usually, game warden probably, if your required dirt set is 6.5, like my state, pretty sure game warden ain't gonna take a crap on you over like 16th, maybe an 1/8 inch, but you never know. If it's rated, if it's labeled or like supposed to be a 6.5, he's probably just gonna look on the box or look on the pan or wherever it says it at, and just go based off what the trap says and not actually weigh it. Okay, so now we're gonna slide this one over and put this one. So there's those two. Oh. Well, I was talking to Bill, and there was kind of a strange thing happen in my area. Is there has been a cougar seen. Actually, the day of this film, or the day I'm videoing this, is Tuesday, like early in the morning. It's like 2:30 or so in the morning. It was seen Monday evening, so like yesterday evening, just like a mile from my house, and it's a big son of a gun. And I've seen it in person because I think it might be. If it's not the same one, then I'm really sketched out, because one chased me and an old buddy a couple years ago, so not fun time. But I messaged him and I'm like, listen, buddy, I got like big kitty cat and that's not going to do. He said, I got you. Are you kidding me? Like, look at that. Look at that. Like, that's a 650. Look at the swivels on this thing. This is insane. Like, guys, these, now in my state, or at least county, probably statewide, this would be an illegal dirt set trap. So I've got to get crafty. You have to use it in a water set. Now, luckily, my state has a conibear water regulation as well, but there is no depth. You can literally sit it in a puddle, and there's no covered percent covered yet. Now, there might be soon. I don't know. They kind of change laws sometimes pretty often. Just really depends on quite a few things, but some states have to have at least half of it, some of them 3/4, and some of them it has to be completely submerged. My rules, and I talked to a DNR officer about this, so anybody that's like, oh no, you're wrong, I've literally talked to a DNR officer about my otter problem for my neighbors last year. There's no depth law, any depth, like, as long as it's considered a water set, it's fine. So I think that's the same thing here. As long as it's considered a water set, I don't think it has to be completely submerged. But if you kind of look at this one, you'll see there's a very light removal of material right here. It's beveled really nice to a nice flat edge that's also got rounded right there, so it's not aggressive, it's not sharp. But on this one, as of course these jaws are going to be quite a bit heavier because they're much bigger, there's a good bit more removed so that these are lighter, and they're actually not insanely much heavier than these. They are They are definitely heavier. These things have to be sturdy. But the lighter these are, the faster they can close. So there's a balance of strength versus weight. Like I said, these things are very strong. They're very thick, very sturdy. I think these traps weigh, the package said that it was 6 pounds, so I would assume it's probably around 5.5 pounds. And then with the packaging and the box, you get 6 pounds. So probably 5 pounds, 5.5. Very sturdy trap. The obvious differences are the frame, the spring, where these springs mount to. I mean, that's just a massive difference. The springs are bigger than even the main coils. Let me see if I can flip this over without setting myself off. Yeah, the main springs are bigger than even the secondary. These are, I'm pretty sure the primary and secondary, which is what I call them. I don't know if that's, I think it's like the main spring and then like the helper, but just for simplicity, main, primary, secondary. Because like on this trap, it does not have the helper springs. This is the 550. So I just call this back one primary and secondary. They're pretty much the same spring, so very powerful. Just a huge pan. I've got these all very high set. I'm going to night latch all of these for you guys. This is literally brand new. I got this just a couple hours ago. Like I said, I've been in Princeton all day today at a doctor's appointment. So just found this bad boy sitting on the porch whenever we pulled up. Last night, I guess. It's weird how early in the morning time speech works. Anyway, these are huge. This is big. Quite a bit took out, but that's the strength where it needs to be very strong right here is nice and thick. They didn't take weight away where they needed to have structure. Honestly, like whenever I night latch this thing, you guys will see, like, honestly, how phenomenal these traps are. I mean, can we just talk about these swivels for 1 second? Bill, if you watch this video, which I hope you do, because I'm praising this trap. This is a fantastic trap. Just looking at it, I can tell. You need to sell these separate. And I asked you in the live stream. You said you weren't sure, I think. That's been a while ago. But you need to make these sold separately. This right here, I guarantee you, would blow the crunch proof swivels out of the water. The Minnesota brand crunch proof swivels, and hands down, this would tear them apart. There's no weld joint on this. It is just a solid chunk. That is sturdy. That's probably 1/8 inch. That's good stuff right there. Now these ones are, I mean, this is a 550 trap. You might want to go ahead and replace these. The Minnesota brand does sell their crunch proof swivels. I don't know how people feel about putting Minnesota brand swivels on stuff, or you could make your own, like go this route, find a piece of square tubing, and cut it to length and drill 2 holes. And then you could make your own swivels, and that way, you know, you're not slandering the Duke Trap name. Alright, enough rambling. I'm going to put this gigantic, look at this thing. It's huge. So, we'll set this out of the way. And we're going to bring the 550, which this thing looks tiny whenever you bring the big boys into play. But this is honestly, this was all you really need. Like, if it's all you can afford, this is all that you need for coyote trap. The bigger the kill pan, well, pressure pan, the better. But you don't need any more than this if you're just going for coons and coyotes and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and night latch this. For those of you that probably seen the video where I showed these off the first time, you know the drill. Anybody that doesn't know, my thumb is under this jaw. This is the loose jaw. If this trap would snap right now, my finger would not get hurt. So don't freak out in the comments. These traps don't really hurt to put your hand in. I just don't have the nerve to do it. I don't. I've been snapped by enough conibears. I don't like it. I don't mind setting them, but I'm not willingly going to put my hand in these traps, especially that monster 850. But we're going to go ahead. Like I said, listen for the click. There's the click. Look at that. Like, if anything, that thing has a negative set. Like, the pan is under flat. And easily to fix that, you just get your pair of pliers on this little tongue right here. Not the, crap, what do they call that thing? I think this is the dog. Yeah. Cut yourself some pliers and bend this down, like kind of try to straighten it, and it will pull the night latch and the dog out, and it'll lift this corner right there up some. But that right there is beautiful. Very, very, this is what you want. If you do not, I guess any real, before night latching and stuff, they just worked. But the flatter you can get it, the better. So there's the 550 night latched. We'll go ahead and sit it up out of the way. And now we'll bring the 650 in here. And it's got a slightly bigger pan. We'll go ahead and hit the night latch for you guys with it. Get over here. Look at that. And pretty sure, yeah, kind of pushed the, there we go. I pushed the dog forward a little bit. There you go. That is flat. Absolutely beautiful, flat. You might want to tune that, push this piece up, like I said before. You might want to bend it in a little bit. That would bring the tip of that down just ever so slightly, but honestly, that's great. Put yourself some padding underneath there, and you have a perfectly good, ready to bed 650. And now, oh son, big swamper. And I have already set this thing off. I had to. But same deal. Go ahead and night latch it. But can we just, guys, like, look how massive. Do I have a tape measure? Probably not. Anyway, that's something like 4.5, like 3.5 by 4.5. I mean, it's a huge paw, pan, pad, whatever you want to call it. But same deal. We'll go ahead and night latch this sucker. And there you have it. Let's set this up. And guys, just look at that. This, I'm telling you what, it might need adjusted the slightest bit to get that tip down. This is directly out of the box. And let me see, maybe I can even push the dog forward some. Yeah, it come down a little bit. That's almost perfect. Directly from factory. Like, I pulled this out of a box, and this is what it turns out. You can't really ask for much better, and like I said, they're so easy to tune. Do not be afraid to kind of pick and choose. And the way that you make these lighter or heavier to trip is you actually take the dog and you put a little bit of in it, and you got to be super careful. This is a very good pan tension. I go extremely easy with it and just put a slight bend in it, and I'm telling you, a little goes a long way. So just don't go too hard on it, because you can make these things unsettable. If you bend that too much, it'll just have too much angle. And this spring tension on this jaw will overdo the, like, I guess, balance of that. But now that all of these have been kind of shown off and beautifully night latched, let's go ahead and set that aside once again. I mean, just look at that, dude. Like, oh man, that's a beautiful trap. Thank you, Bill Duke. You are the man. Definitely, guys, if you are looking into getting some traps, if it's your first set of traps, definitely get yourself either a couple 550s. If you can afford it, I will always tell you, there's no need in, like, just get the biggest that your law will allow. There's no point in, if you can afford it. Now, numbers games, like, numbers can help in trapping. So, I mean, if you can only afford like 3 650s, but like 6 of these 550s, that's just a rough figure, just a rough number. But anyway, if you can afford more than, like, if all you have will get you more of these than those, sometimes putting more of the smaller ones out in different locations is better. But if you know they're only in one area and you don't really need a whole lot, go for the biggest that your law allows. Like, there's no need in buying very small if you can afford, like, slightly more pan area. Because there's been some people that's had one step right there, not even set it off. But whenever you've got like an extra 1.5 inch of pan, or an extra, like, all of it of pan, the pan on the 850 is literally about as big as, like, the square of this. But let's go ahead, like I said, get this finger up out of the way, and we will set these off one at a time. So this is the 550. Very, very spunky. Got some kahunas behind it. Will definitely, as long as it's set properly and it's not under like 900 feet of dirt, should get the job done just fine. The 650, kind of spicier, actually a good bit spicier. And grand finale, man, this thing is heavy. Good sturdy trap. 850. Good gracious. Now that that's kind of demonstrated, go ahead, make sure all that dust lands on my bed. 5, 6, 8. So there you have it. Highly recommend this one, and if you're into like otters, or not, well, I think this might be a little much for otter, but otters are definitely on the tricky side to catch because they like to weasel themselves out of traps. You need something that's going to hold them strong. But great for beaver. Beaver also, their feet are shaped like cones. So, this is actually sold as a beaver trap. And then you've got like, there is an offset version of this. That's like mountain lion, or well, it's wolf trap, and they pretty much took a wolf trap and turned it into a beaver trap, versus what people did before is they took beaver traps and kind of like tried to soup them up into wolf traps. So you have like a subpar trap going into it already, and then they try to like throw some heavier hardware at it. Whenever Bill took massive hardware that was designed out of the gate to take down like wolves and stuff, and then was like change the jaw, and now it's beaver. That's one of the big deals. You get this massively strong swivel, and if it'll handle a wolf, mountain lion, which a cougar and mountain lion, pretty much same thing. It'll handle a beaver. It'll hold on to him real good. But like I said, I know this is not legal to be above ground or above water, or like in the ground. So it does have to be a form of water set. Like I said, there's no like depth. So literally just a small creek. If I can get this cougar mountain lion to come in, like I said, this evening, well, yesterday evening, he was seen just a couple miles from my house, and sorry about that. Anyway, get some. Or that.